when we experienced what we experienced as children, there were certain coping mechanisms that we developed to survive that environment. And those coping mechanisms served a good purpose. They helped to protect us mentally and emotionally, even physically. And so this idea of baggage is really when we carry those coping mechanisms into relationships that don't need them. That's where they begin to cause havoc in our relationships. And so the work that we've got to do is figure out, how do I keep from allowing the negative parts of those coping mechanisms from affecting my relationships, while still recognizing there was something about that coping mechanism that helped me. So, for example, growing up in the context that I grew up in, that whole idea of being able to read emotion, when I go into other relationships now, my default is to take responsibility for everyone's emotions. That's not healthy, because now I need to fix your emotions. And when you come to me as, a spouse or a friend and are telling me kind of how you're feeling, you get frustrated with me because I try to fix it for you. I try to tell you how to make it better. And so how do I disarm that while saying, I still have this ability to read your emotions, to understand your emotions, and I can use that for the good of my relationship now. And so that's what I mean by good baggage. Is it's not that I went through this and therefore I'm automatically better at relationships, but there's some things that it put in me that I've got to learn how to leverage. And if I can, it actually will help me be really good at relationships.
Yeah.
Another example would be, that whole idea of us going to see a marriage counselor from early in our marriage comes from the place of, I know what I saw in my childhood. I know the relationships that I saw there. And I want my relationships to go differently than that. And I think for many of us who grew up in these contexts, it gave us this passion to pursue healthy relationships at all cost, because we saw what it looked like when somebody allowed their pride to keep them from getting help. When they needed the help for mental health issues or for an addiction or for abuse or whatever it was, when pride got in the way, we saw the cost of that. And so we would say, it's a blow to my ego, but I would rather have healthy, satisfying relationships than just preserve my ego.